threat of disaster is never pleasant.
Welcome to the Casual Preppers podcast.
These safety measures are essential.
The only place for prepping, survival, and entertainment.
This will be your source of survival instructions and information. Every member of the family must be coached in the business of survival.
Here are your hosts, Cam and Kobe.
Yeah.
Back at it.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
Man, today we got a topic that makes all the preppers crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Makes them hot and
It does.
ready.
It does.
And
A lot of different names for it.
oh,
but,
sure. You're right.
But it's the bug out bag.
Yeah.
So, today, episode 229.
I think that's
Going
right. I
back-
could be wrong.
going back
on the
to the
episode
basics.
number, by the way.
Okay.
I don't know.
Welcome to this episode.
Yeah.
There's a number behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
But we're going to talk about bug out bags today.
Yeah.
Because if you're a serious prepper, you've got to have one ready to go.
For sure.
California is learning the hard way that
Yeah.
a bug out bag is super important.
You shared something on Instagram the other day of it going viral or mainstream.
Everybody's trying to produce a video about
Oh,
go bags,
they are, yeah.
And so it's not, we've been talking about bug out bags since the beginning of
2016,
time, right?
baby.
Yeah. So they matter.
They
if
do.
you're leaving in a hurry and you need supplies to keep you alive, keep you safe, keep you comfortable, that's what the bug out bag's for.
We're going to talk about it today.
We're going to get into the nitty gritty again.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty, though, I got to tell you about BattleBox. It's the monthly subscription box full of solid gear for adventure seekers, survivalists, outdoor enthusiasts, and casual preppers. Each month, BattleBox sends you the coolest selection of hand-picked outdoor survival and everyday carry gear, all valued at far more than what you'd normally pay. You never know what's in the next box, but here's a sampling of what users received this month. The mosquito repellent tiny repeller by Flextail
cool.
Gear. Yeah, the thing's badass. And then we got the koala tree duffel bag. That's pretty cool, too. All of this badassness starts at just $34.99 per month. They've shipped over 1 million boxes and won Best Subscription Box of 2020. Our listeners get 15% off when you sign up at battlebox.com/casualpreppers. I can't tell you how much of my gear in my
Basically,
bug-out
my
bag.
bug out bag was built by BattleBox.
Yeah, I need a little sticker, a patch built by BattleBox.
Seriously.
Something like that, right?
A lot of the best gear that I've learned to put in my bug out bag came from BattleBox.
1,000%. So,
BattleBox.
talking about bug out bags, what is it, Cam? Because let's start by defining the thing that we're talking about, right? Basically, what a bug out bag is, a lot of times you'll see it as BOB, bug out bag. It's a portable emergency kit designed to help you survive for at least 72 hours. Pretty
That's
simple.
it.
That's pretty simple. It's packed with essential items that cover the basics like food, water, shelter, and tools. Think of it basically as your lifeline if you need to evacuate quickly. And this is whether you're heading to some designated location or if you're just getting away from some sort of immediate danger.
Yeah.
Right? So very simple there. And what's the purpose of it? Kind of the same thing I just said. It's to help you function through things like wildfires and floods and civil unrest or chemical spills, all that kind of stuff. It just needs to give you the essential stuff to survive independently without your home, obviously, where all your gear is, or without other people.
And you don't have to put it together. It's ready to go.
It's ready to go. You don't want to have to throw this thing together at the last second. So why do we say 72 hours? Like Cam said, it has a lot of different names. Some people will even call it like a 72-hour bag, or they'll call it a 72-hour kit sometimes. But I think those are actually slightly different when I look at them. But
they're just like little teeny, minutia details that really don't matter. It's just, it's a bag that's ready to go.
It's a bag that's ready to go. So emergency response times are typically within 72 hours during major disasters, meaning help won't arrive before then. And that happens especially with more widespread disasters. It's much harder for people to, Red Cross or whoever it is or FEMA coming in before 72 hours probably isn't going to happen. So your bug out bag should be built to sustain you during that critical window where you need to be self-reliant.
Yeah.
You can't count on anyone else. You are your first responder. So that's why you build this bag. That 72-hour time frame also provides a manageable baseline. It's long enough to cover most of the short-term crises, but compact enough to keep the bag portable and easy to carry. Because if you went for like 5 days or 7 days, your bag would be gigantic. You can't carry something like that unless you got a wheelbarrow or something.
Yeah.
A little buggy. This is why it's great because it's a bag and it's just
you got
enough.
your cargo pants for that.
You got your cargo pants for that. You're right.
Yeah.
No,
you
you're
don't
right.
need to put it all in your bag.
Also, remember, many think of a bug out bag as something that they will take with them to survive in the wilderness.
A lot do.
Most do.
So true.
To be honest with you, that's what they think. And so, like,
I kind of thought that at first.
And
I was
sometimes
like,
I have to, like,
putting a chainsaw on there.
Yeah.
I have a whole tent.
Yeah. Like, sometimes you have to, I still think of it that way. Like, I have to remember, like, no, that's not what it's for. Like, it can be.
Yeah. In some rural towns, that might be. Like,
maybe
you're going to go into the forest probably because that's the only place you can go.
So that might be true, but it's more likely you're going to grab this bag and you're going to head to a hotel in a nearby city or a relative's home in another city that's just out of the danger zone. So you can just grab it and go. That's the whole point of it. It's not necessarily that you're taking this thing to go live in the woods.
Yeah, but it's nice. You have it all ready to use.
Exactly.
You're not showing up at your aunt's and you're like, hey, you got a toothbrush?
I need some underwear. Do you got any?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to wear your aunt's underwear.
No.
I know that I don't.
I don't either. No.
I mean, some I would wear more likely than others.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some you definitely don't want to wear, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to you about how to put together that bug out bag.
Okay.
And I know this might be boring for some because you're like, I got a bug out bag. I'll skip past this part. Go ahead.
Don't do it.
But this helped me, like when I went over all this, I'm like, geez, I need to go through my bag again because I'm not as strong in some of these areas that I thought I was.
Yeah, you suck.
Yeah, I'm big time. So, most essential, most important part, water.
Yeah.
You don't know. They could contaminate the water lines, or you're living in the middle of the desert like we do, and it's
hard to find water.
Yeah, so you need to have a way to filter the water, and also you need to have water on you that's ready to use. Like that's the thing is a lot of people don't throw actual bottle in there that has water in it. It's like I got a filter in there, and I'm good to go. I'm gonna go drink out of the stream. You just don't know if that's going to be possible. So
what if the stream's gone?
Yeah, what if the stream's gone? Or it's pure oil because somebody contaminated it.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or you see your aunt in the stream bathing.
Yeah.
You don't want to
exactly.
You don't want to drink it.
And exactly.
Right.
So water bottles, reusable or collapsible pouches. Like you also need something to put water into. So having something that's ready to drink right away is probably the most important thing. Then second, having a way to collect more water.
Yep.
Then after that, you look at water purification. There's LifeStraw, there's Sawyer Mini, there's purification tabs and all of that. So you've got your container and you can collect water. Now you have a way to filter and purify it. Super important. I'm a huge fan of the Sawyer Mini, man. The Sawyer Mini.
It's my favorite.
Because one, it's tiny. It has threads, so it'll twist on most water bottles. And then it also filters 100,000 gallons. That blows people's minds.
It seems like an asinine number of gallons, but
it
it's
seems
true.
So high.
Yeah.
That's a ton. So
it really is.
That's a huge, easy, portable filter that you can throw in your bag. I
have
one in mine.
I do too. And when it comes to water bottles, there's a couple ways to go because a lot of people say you've got to use like a something that you can boil in. Sometimes that is nice. I actually don't have that. I have a collapsible water bottle. I think it's from
the Sawyer Mini one just rolls up.
Yeah.
Like you can do that one too.
Yeah. But I actually have a water bottle that like pops open.
Oh yeah. You twist
it's
this
like
like
water
bag.
pack, I think, or something. We got that from a battle box. But it's fantastic because it collapses down when you're not using it and takes up less space. Because space is a big deal when it comes to the bug out bag.
I've also stored like those little pouches of water, the emergency waters into I've carried like an aluminum bottle. So then you could cook it.
Yeah.
But anyway, just make sure that you focus on getting a good like water. Water's going to keep you alive.
For sure.
The next thing would be food and nutrition. High calorie, lightweight food like a protein bar, MRE, freeze dried meals. You don't know how long you're going to be out there. Finding food is going to be hugely difficult. And then you don't have to worry about it. Like if it's in your bag, you have some food. You can go a lot longer without it, but you do have it in there.
Something I did want to mention that I forgot in the water part. This is why we say Element is great because you can add.
Yeah.
You can have a couple of packs of Element, which they take up
Dry
no
packs
space.
that you just throw in your bag
Yeah.
and make your water way more delicious.
And so now your water's going to taste better, and it's also going to hydrate you.
Yeah,
better.
if you're
I was going to say that, and I forgot.
walking, if you're on foot with your bug out bag and your family, like you're going to dehydrate pretty quick.
For
So
sure.
It's a great one. Yeah. So yeah, with food, it's probably better to just spend a little more money on something of better quality. Like you can throw it. I've got an MRE in there that's probably expired and disgusting, but you got a lot of calories in it, and it's sealed and it's easy to use. You don't need to cook it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of freeze dried things that are easy to use too.
That's why I love just putting a couple Mountain House type meals in mine.
Yeah. You just add a little bit
So
of
easy.
water, and you can even boil and pour it into the pack itself, this makes it really nice.
Yep.
If you camp a lot or you hike, like you probably have figured out what foods are best for you. So, but you need to make sure you have that in your bug out bag. And then the other thing is like you need something to cook with. A little metal container or can or portable stove to boil it as well. If you don't want to cook just over the fire, they have tons of nice little portable like you do need to carry like butane or something with you, but the other thing is like the little alcohol tabs, and you just create like a little grill type thing. And it's super easy to use, and you can use it indoor as well.
Yeah.
I also like the barrel cook because
those are
it's this little chemical pouch that reacts and boils your stuff. I've used those quite a few times, and they work really well. Also, don't forget your utensils.
Yeah.
Eating with your fingers, they might be super dirty, and
We got those little utensil packs, and again, another battle box that are fantastic.
that metal one has a straw cleaner,
It's beautiful.
a knife, and
And it
it's
comes
so
in its
nice.
own little like zip up
That's
case.
the one I carry. Actually, in my work bag.
Love it.
Yeah, so
Great.
nice.
What brand was that? I can't remember.
I can't remember
gotta
either.
look
Isn't
that
it
up.
like Eco? I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was like an Eco something, but
maybe.
You need to have some utensils. It's really nice to
For
have
sure.
that. And then you might as well throw a little bit of salt packets or a little container with some seasoning stuff. I know this is getting a bit over the top, but it's nice to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Shelter and warmth. Now you move on to like you have your water, your food. Now you need to be comfortable and protected, and so that's your shelter and your warmth. It's the idea of the bug out bag is to get you to a location or a shelter, but you might be caught in the car or on foot trying to get somewhere, and you have to stay overnight. So it's good to have some material in there that you can build like a shelter. Easiest is just to have a bivy sack.
Yeah,
like
those
a little,
are so easy
because they store into this little pill size thing. I mean, and then it's waterproof. It can be used to carry other things. You can use it. When you're in it at night, it keeps you twice as warm. And man, that's just one of the easiest things you can get. And I would highly recommend you put a bivy into your bug out bag.
They're just so compact. They're so easy. They're so inexpensive. It's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. It's so easy.
No, I agree. And then if you consider you might have to be sleeping somewhere or out in the wilderness or in your car, like some compact like sleeping bag or a wool blanket, if you spend a little bit more money, you can really find a good, warm, like tightly packed sleeping bag. Some of the nicer brands they're tiny. It's crazy how much that you can pack in.
Yeah, if you get one that's like for backpacking, they're fantastic.
Yeah. What are they like rated at? Like 10 degrees
sometimes
or below?
you can get like -20.
Yeah, so definitely look into those. And then a tarp or a small tent, like I have, because they're nice. You fold them kind of long, and you can just slide them in the back of your backpack, and then you have a way to keep you out of the elements.
Yep.
Super easy to do. Next, clothing and footwear. I'll talk to you. I'll mention later how important it is for footwear. Like your
So
feet are going to
important, man.
carry you, and so no matter what you have in your bag, if you don't take care of your feet and focus on that, you're screwed.
Yeah, good luck getting trench foot or something weird like that.
So it's like,
gonna be bad.
make sure you have extra socks in there, ways to change out if your feet get wet, extra footwear. It's super important because sometimes, you may be in like business shoes and you get home and you got to hurry. It's like have an extra pair of shoes in there because you don't want to walk in those for however many miles.
Eco Vessel. That's what it was. I had
it
to
was
find it
Eco.
because I love it. Eco Vessel Wanderwear reusable stainless steel set. Can't recommend it enough.
So
It's
nice.
fantastic.
Yeah. So throw that
Sorry.
in with your food and your water.
Yeah.
And then, footwear, you want to have a change of socks. You want to protect your feet and your hands. So beanies, gloves, stuff like that. Depending where you at.
Where you at, bruh?
Where you at. In the time of the season, you may be switching things out. So,
and again, remember, you might just be going to a hotel, so pack accordingly. You might just need some lounge clothes or just a regular pair of jeans and a t-shirt.
But something to change is super important.
Exactly.
Or change out. If it gets soaking wet, you have something else. In addition to that, you want to make sure it's waterproof, either your bag or where your clothes are stored, so that they don't get soaked too. And this is where I wouldn't throw in, like, for a long time, I put in like an old sweater and some shoes, like some DC shoes or something that aren't really, it was like, I'm not using them anymore. I'll just put them in there. You want to have nice gear in there, especially for your feet. Fire making tools, you might be starting a fire to cook your food, to stay warm. So carrying fire supplies is super important in your bug out bag. A lighter is going to go a long way.
Get a freaking lighter. Have two lighters.
Yeah, two of them. You can get a nice big Bic lighter for like what, $1.25 or $2?
I don't know.
Buy two of them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to trash Zippo here for a minute.
Yeah.
Just because like everybody's like thinks they're the super survival. I get it. They'll light and they'll stay lit in wind. But they're going to be dried up and the gas is going to be out of them and they suck. They're worthless. I hate them.
Zippo has some other products that are fantastic.
They have some great products.
But just like a regular Zippo lighter, I would never in 100 years use it.
Never
for
put
any
it in
of
your
these
bug out bag.
kits.
It'll be dried up, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, unless you store fuel with it, which is just more space, you don't need it.
No.
So get a Bic lighter.
Yep.
And then it's not bad to throw a ferro rod. I have multiple ways of starting a fire in your bag, and that's the most important part of fire starting is just have multiple ways to start a fire.
Here's the
Some
thing,
matches, and do.
And then when we talk about Zippo, that's where their
Zippo matches are incredible.
Those weatherproof Zippo, what are they called? Now I've lost it.
The
Zippo
not harpoon. It's a
Typhoon match kit.
Dude,
that's what it
they
is.
are amazing.
They're the best.
They're the longest. Like you have fuel for like 6 inches. It feels like so when you light it, it just burns hot the whole way.
Yeah. So have
they're waterproof and they're in a container. If you're gonna look at Zippo, just get that.
Yep.
So you have matches, you have a lighter, you have some fire starter. That's the other thing.
And a
ferro rod. Yeah, you want that in there. And there's a lot of nice ferro rods, so you need to find a good one. There's a lot of fire starters out there too. The ones that I've liked the most, I mean, the pull start ones are guaranteed to start.
They are. They're
fire.
just big.
They're a little big. That's
probably
the only downside.
for a bug out bag. They're slightly
That's
big,
true.
but maybe not. It depends on
if
how
you
much
want to
stuff
just
you
not
have.
mess with the fire, get one of those.
Yeah, they're
but
great.
yes, they do take up more space. But yeah, you can have like simple stuff like cotton balls that are soaked in petroleum, fat wood. I love the rope. That's probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
The Blackbeard
Blackbeard fire starter's great.
because it'll go forever. Like, and you can cut little pieces off. But fire starter makes a big difference. You don't know where you're going to be. It's going to be in the blizzard, rain. You can have a million lighters if you don't have good fuel. It's not going to go very far.
That's tough. Yeah.
And then have backup methods to that.
For sure.
And then first aid. Do it yourself is highly recommended because you can cut a lot of the fat away. There's a ton of those kits that just have tons of garbage in them. I do love, if you're going to go pre-built, look at, I just forgot the name. MyMedic, yeah. I wrote it on there. MyMedic has such good things. They're in little pouches. They have great bandages that actually stay on.
They have the best Band-Aids.
They're the best.
Man.
They're
so
stretchy
good.
and they're super tacky.
Yeah.
So if you don't build it yourself, I would look at MyMedic because you can get most of those kits and they have great stuff in them.
And that's where actually I bought a MyMedic kit and I've added to it.
Yeah.
And like all their little tiny
they have additional
packages
things too to pack into it too.
Yeah, just put it in there.
Yeah, so MyMedic's great if you're going to not build your own, but
Again,
you can build your own with their stuff too.
Battle Boxes sent us tons of MyMedic gear.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just
Obviously,
saying
they like it.
Yeah.
Because it's good.
It's good stuff.
And then you also have to consider medications.
Yeah, you
over-the-counter medications, I just put them in. I always have like a pill count, or what is it, like a pill weekly.
Yeah, weekly pill thinger.
Yeah,
Dinger.
whatever that is.
Winger.
And I put and label each of the little compartments like stomach meds and allergy meds, stomach meds, anti-diarrhea.
Yeah, anti-diarrhea, anti-bubble guts,
Yeah.
anti-stomach.
But those are nice. You just have them in your bag and you have medicines along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
If you take prescription medications, you should have probably at least a week's worth in there. It's easy to do. You just have some extra pills, put them in a bottle, put them in your bug out bag, and then you don't have to worry about missing your medications.
You do want to make sure that you're switching those out every so
Yeah,
often.
exactly.
You don't want them like 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
You know.
A little weak. Probably not going to work.
Yeah.
Wound care. There's a lot of different kits, antiseptic wipes and things like that, bandages. Suture kit is nice, but if you don't really know how to use it, I mean, you don't have to go over the top and get a big trauma kit. That's what I'm trying to say. Get a nice first aid kit. The next thing is tools and multi-purpose gear. That was the one thing that I've learned over time is using different types of gear. I've learned what can serve 3 or 4 purposes in one tool.
Yeah.
It's like your Swiss Army knife, you know? And that's the kind of stuff that you want to be putting in your bug out bag. It's going to be useful, and you can use it for multiple things. Paracord falls into that. I mean, shelter, repairs, you can fish with it. It's a fire starter in some of them. You can find some awesome stuff. Yeah. Duct tape. Definitely need this for repairs, for waterproofing. You can't get enough of that stuff either.
No.
And again, you can find like those little, what's that one that has like string on it? It has duct tape on it. It's like a little aluminum rod.
Oh, yeah. The rip spool.
Yeah. Again, so you can find these multi-tool things.
I forgot. But yeah, it's great.
It's got a little spool on top. It's got duct tape wrapped around like in a little aluminum tube. And so it's
got
all
a needle
in one
inside.
place.
You can do a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah,
with it.
it's pretty awesome. And then other tools is look at a small pry bar or mini crowbar. You can we got some of those. It's like the size of a knife, and it's a
Exotech
little
rip spool.
Yeah, that's
what
awesome.
it is. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
Yeah. So
what it is.
looking at some of those tools that are just going to help you along the way are super important.
For sure.
Lighting. Another super important part of your bug out bag is having some lighting. A headlamp and a handheld is what I would recommend.
Have both.
Yeah. And you may even want, I think I have 4 flashlights in my bag. They're tiny. There's like a little one, a pin light, and there's just so many purposes.
Yeah.
And so, and I would spend a little bit more money on a good headlamp, one that you can change the beam. I love the new LED ones that just light up everything. Yeah, they're it's so different from anything I've used.
Before winter hit, I was using my light band.
Yeah, you did a video
when
on
I
that.
was rucking, and gosh, it just changed the game.
It's so nice. It just it illuminates everything around you, so that you don't
but it's
have
not
a
like
single beam.
An over bright single beam that's like you feel like you're gonna catch some sagebrush on fire. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It gives you that 270 degree kind of outwards. You can see everything that's happening around you.
Would be so perfect for a bug out bag.
And you can pull it down over your eyes and you look like Spock.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Or what's his name from Reading Rainbow on Star Trek?
That's who it was. It's not Spock. You're right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Same. I was thinking of the same, but it's not Spock.
Yeah. And then alternative lighting like glow sticks and different things that you can just break and throw. It just makes it nice to have lighting in there. Personal documents and cash. A lot of people don't carry cash anymore, nor do they know how to use it. But it's still super important to have in there. 5s and 10s, 20s. I probably wouldn't go much higher than that. 50s and 100s are going to be hard.
Because again, if you're still hanging around a town or something and there's no power, you're going to want cash to
buy some more supplies or
fuel
buy a hotel
food,
room.
Or exactly.
So small cash or small denominations of cash, super important. And then copies of your ID, insurance information. Because it's like, for example, in California, your house gets torched. You don't have any of that information anymore.
Yeah, it's gone.
So it's a good idea to have backups and copies of it in your bug out bag that's going to go with you.
If that happened and somebody asked, well, where's your home insurance through? I'd be like, hell if I know.
It's under,
How do I even know? How do I find that?
Floating around?
I don't know. Pay somebody.
Yeah. So that's a perfect reason to make a list of emergency contacts and your insurance policy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Paper doesn't take a lot of space.
No.
So do it. And you can even have a digital copy, like a USB drive thrown in your bag too. Tradable items, coins, metals, and things like that are useful too.
Sure.
And then self-defense, pepper spray, non-lethal protection. You can have like a stun gun or something like that. You never know who you're going to come across.
Sure.
If people are fleeing an area, you're going to run into a-holes, guaranteed.
Also a gun. You could have a handgun in here.
I would carry a handgun.
Yeah, for sure.
And have that like ready to go and have some, rounds in there or a clip that's ready or something like that or a magazine. The other thing is comms. Your phone is obviously like your main source. So ways to charge that, like a battery pack, again, is super important to throw in your bug out bag. Then two-way radios, your group, you're going to want to continue communication with your family members and others that are with you. If you have 2 sets in your bag or one in your wife's bag and your bag or your husband's bag or your kid's bag, it's easy and you can get them anywhere. They're super cheap. Midland's been great.
Yeah.
Redivis has been great.
Even the Rocky Talkies.
Oh,
those were great.
Those are great.
Rocky Talkies, is that they were
What is
called?
it?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, those are really cool. They're super durable. And they have a little, like the little phone cord on them.
I don't know that much about these, so ask somebody else. But you got to get some.
Yeah, you should have a way to communicate.
Yeah.
An emergency radio does fall into this.
Yeah,
and
for
they have
sure.
really small ones that are that have a crank that you can charge other devices. You can charge it.
Has a light.
Keep an eye on the weather, the events that are happening around you. Like it's super important, and that's a part of that communication plan. Then power again. We went over this last week, so you should listen to that episode. It talks about portable power packs, solar power, so you can keep things charged, like your phone, your walkie-talkies. You can keep your lighting. A lot of them have built-in flashlights in them and stuff like that. And then other just real quick useful items that sometimes get overlooked. Throwing a trash bag in there can cover your whole backpack, or you can put gear in it.
Yep.
You can vomit into it, whatever you want.
Put trash in it.
Yeah. Silcock key allows you to get water from buildings if you're, on the fly. Yeah. Then you got repair items, duct tape, safety pins, lock pick, bumper key. You never know, you might need to break into somewhere, and that just makes it a lot easier. Pencil sharpener for shavings and stuff like that, so that you can make fire if you don't have a fire starter.
Or if you need to make steaks to kill like
little animals.
Vampires.
Or
little animals.
Yeah. Dental floss, screwdriver, pin kit. I have a pin that has both, Phillips and flathead on it. It's really nice. Earplugs. Might be sleeping somewhere you don't want to listen to things.
Exactly.
Like kids.
Yeah.
Fish line, fish kit, and then playing cards. You might be sitting somewhere with your bug out bag waiting
for hours on
end. So throw something in there to do. Cards would be great. And then we already mentioned the pry bar. So that's a lot, I know.
The other thing I would add to this is a hygiene kit. Make sure that you have a hygiene kit.
That should be part of your first aid.
Probably. Yeah. So some way to clean, whether it's
I
soap.
threw dental floss in there, but I didn't mention deodorants and soaps.
Deodorant, soaps, and toothpaste, and
the little hand
toothbrushes.
sanitizer things you can throw in.
Oh, yeah. Or what I really like too are the Clean Freak wipes. Those are prepackaged
you can basically
wipes.
Take a shower with a wipe.
Exactly. And you want to stay clean, and you want to wipe your butt. You want to do all those things.
Yeah.
I love the Clean Freak wipes, or what are the other ones? The other big.
I always forget the name
towels.
of those. They're huge and they're
There's
durable.
a bunch of them, but the Clean Freak are great.
That's a good idea. You got to make sure you have that stuff, because you don't know how long you're going to be in.
Yeah.
No one wants to be next to a disgusting, stinky person.
The worst. Especially, what if you're sharing a bivy bag with your wife or your husband, and you just smell like whatever. Not good.
Get a list and go through these.
Yes, for sure. If you didn't know, electrolyte deficiency or imbalances can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, weakness. As people who want to be prepared and ready for anything, the last thing you need is something that will slow you down when you need to be ready the most. That's why we at Casual Preppers have teamed up with Element. It is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing that you don't. We think Element is perfect for bug out bags and EDC kits because it contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Casual Preppers listeners can get a free Element sample pack when you make any purchase through our exclusive Casual Preppers link. That is one packet of every flavor. You can get this on the first time you order, the second time, or the 100th time. Just keep using our link, and you're going to get that free sample pack. Head to our link, which is drinklmnt.com/casualpreppers. Get your order and your free sample pack. You guys, these are fantastic for bug out bags. I can't recommend them enough. And also, if you
water storage and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's just so good, right? So make sure you go get it. A couple things I did want to talk about on how to pack your bag. You want to think about the weight distribution when you're because Cam talked about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of gear.
There was a lot
that goes into these things. So you want to pack it efficiently for several reasons, so that it rides nice, and also that you can get to the things you need when you need to get to them. So with the heavier items, place those things, like water and cooking gear close to your back. That helps you maintain balance and stability.
It makes a big difference. Like, it's crazy how much it affects your knees and your hips.
It does.
Like, over a shorter distance, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, the closer you can get it to your body, the better. And if it's lighter items, like blankets and clothes, you can pack those near the top or the outer compartments of your bag. And you want to make sure that it's even from side to side, so you're not like getting like hip and shoulder fatigue of that kind of stuff.
You're not walking in a circle.
You might
it's
walk
so
in a
heavy.
circle. Exactly. Also, organization is so critical in your pack. Not just the way you pack it, but the way you organize it. Use things like packing cubes and pouches and Ziploc bags. Group similar items together. Like you have this is your med kit. This is your fire starting gear. This is your water gear. Especially things like your meds or your first aid stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you're cut off your arm or something.
I've had to dig to the bottom of my bag just to get a Band-Aid.
Exactly.
It's like you dig all your stuff out and you're probably going to leave something somewhere.
But if it's a critical thing and you need a tourniquet or something and you can't find it and you're just throwing stuff everywhere trying to get to it, you want to know where that stuff is. So make sure you organize it in a way that you're not fumbling through your pack in an emergency. It's so important. And then we get to ask this question a lot, like, what bag should I get? How big should it be? How much should it weigh? That's very hard to tell you right now. 30 to 50 liter capacity is usually kind of ideal for a lot of people. And then when we talk about the weight of your pack, a lot of people say 25% of your body weight.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go much more than that. I think for me, that's around 30, 40 pounds. I don't know how to do math. So you don't want it to be 70, 80 pounds if you're a 120 pound woman.
Right.
That's too much. You need to keep it down.
It's easy to go overboard.
Yeah. Lighter is better if you can, right?
I know a lot of people have recommended, like, get all your gear ready and then find a pack for it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You have it all and then you don't have this big, huge empty space and then you don't have stuff packed super tight. So
and also having some empty space in your bag a little bit is not a bad thing.
You do want some.
Because you might have to pick some stuff up on the
That's
way.
where you put your Skittles too. So it's like when you're wandering
and then you're
around.
going to eat those probably in the first hour. Then you're going to have room.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Exactly.
You make sure, it fits well. It rides well with the padded shoulder straps. It has the hip belts and all that kind of stuff. The breathable back panels. Those are
basically an Everly stock.
You got to get an Everly stock or, Exo Mountain Gear. All those higher quality ones are going to be better. But look, if you can't afford those, I understand that 1,000%. Just get something that rides well. Just get a bag.
If you're going to spend a little more money, I would focus on the pack itself.
Exactly. So anyways, organize that thing. It's going to really, really help you.
Yeah, for sure. So just some common mistakes to avoid. Overpacking. Like you just mentioned, like it's easy to go way overweight because you're like, I want to have everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a forest. I'm gonna be making a cabin.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought for a long time. I was basically building an inch bag
that's
over
the whole
and over.
thing. Yeah. And we'll probably talk about inch bags again one day, but that's not
That's
what
like
we're doing.
you're never coming back home.
Yeah.
Not testing your gear because you learn what works, what like will save space and what's more efficient. So you definitely need to get out and try the gear that you're throwing in there. Don't just buy a pre-built kit and not try any of it.
Yeah.
Forgetting the season. Like a lot of times you have like shorts and a midriff in there and it's the middle of winter. You don't want that.
I usually keep a midriff with me anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sleeping.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's that Everlast mesh.
Yeah, it's usually midriff and it's also like a football jersey from the 80s.
Exactly.
See through like
or
the
box,
holes.
like
You know what I
Everlast or Nike.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Yeah.
But you need to change your bag for the winter. One of the nice things, like smartest things, is just like have a kit of your clothes and then you can just swap it out.
Sure.
Skipping regular inspections.
Yeah.
Periodically checking the expiration dates on the things that you have in there. Replacing old gear.
Every 6 months.
Finding a new tool.
Probably enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every 6 months and do that like on the change of the seasons from summer
That's a good idea.
to winter or or fall to winter, whatever it is, wherever you want to do that. But at the beginning of winter, end of winter.
Spring's real hard here because you're just like switching it out every week.
I know. It's
every
a pain
week.
in the butt. Yeah.
And then saving money in the wrong place. Like you want to spend a little more on your bag, just a little better quality, and then some of those like multi-use tools and food and water. You really don't like. Water's fine, but it's
like a
some of the
multi-tool?
foods.
Like you don't want like the $3 thing.
No.
From Amazon.
Yeah, or a bin from some bargain stores. Like, Pretty good.
Probably not worth it.
Yeah. And then some pro tips. Keep it
hey.
simple. Like it's 72 hours. All you need to do is stay alive, comfortable, and safe. I mean, that's the whole reason you built the thing.
Yeah.
An inventory list.
Yeah.
Just with everything else, along with everything else prepping is like make a list. Then you know what's in there. And if you're forgetting anything or if something's been taken out.
Yeah, I feel your flow.
The balance, like you said, you really need to balance it out and understand how it fits and wears on your body.
Yeah.
Repack seasonally, avoid or add redundancy, 2 is 1, 1 is none.
That's right. 2
Like
bug
a
out
bun
bags.
is really fun.
And you're on.
Yeah, 2 bug out bags.
Yeah.
Pack by urgency, like you said, keeping it organized so that the things you're going to use the most are on top and you don't have to dig all your crap out.
Yep.
And then and keep the same layout for everyone in your group.
That's a good
probably
idea.
the best thing for your family is like, I know where stuff is because it's the same way mine's packed.
Mine's not that
Or
way.
if you lose your sight and you're blind and you're laying in the gutter, you can tell your kid, it's in the top on the right.
That's right. And they're probably asking where the iPad is.
Yeah,
while
exactly.
you're dead in a
and
gutter.
they dug it all out
Yeah.
and they're not going to put it back in.
I'm dying here, boy.
Yeah. Bug out, like a bug out bag test. Take your backpack hiking with you or camping and you'll figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Rucking is a good way to kind of feel the weight on your back and what it does to your legs.
Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a great way to feel this out.
Yeah. And then again, super important to make sure you take care of your feet. So you need to change the socks and moleskin and shoes and stuff like that matter because you're going to be packing that thing. So you need to take care of those feet.
You're right.
A lot of
100%
stuff.
right. I also got to tell you today about TacPack.
Yes.
Our good old friends over there at TacPack.
Been there.
They are the only tactical subscription box with useful professional grade stuff inside. Use our code Casual Preppers. You're going to get a free $70 machine-made part from Next Level Armament. How do they do it? We don't know.
No one knows. They don't even know.
They don't even know, but they're making it happen. And use our code because if you have an AR, if you like EDC gear, you got to get a TacPack.
Yeah, they're excellent.
Get the TacPack. So anyways, guys, look, what are we going to take away from this? Let's do a quick little recap. What's a bug out bag? It's supposed to.
It's a bob.
It's a bob. It's going to take you 72 hours through whatever event that might happen. It should always be packed. It should always be updated and easy to grab at a moment's notice. Regularly test that sucker so you're very you know all the things in your bag. You got to know what it is. Prioritize the big 3 stuff: water, food, and shelter. If you get through those things, you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is just kind of superfluous anyways. Ensure your bug out bag has enough water, calorie dense food, and some form of shelter. You're gonna live probably if you have those things, right? Adapt the bag to your personal needs. Everybody's situation is different, so factor in whatever medications you might need or whatever your kids might need or whatever your pets might need. Everybody's is going to be different. The things that Cam said, all those items aren't for everyone.
No.
But they could be.
They're like on most lists.
They are on most lists.
But
yeah.
you can do whatever you want.
You can. You're the boss here.
Yeah.
Here, look, over the next week, do a bug out bag review. Here, first off, if you don't have a bug out bag, start on it.
Yeah.
Start making it. But if you do have one, take a half hour this week, inspect your current bag, check for expired food, damaged gear, missing items, try putting the bag on, walking around the neighborhood
Your body
with it.
probably changed since the
Oh,
last
yeah.
time you wore your
You can't even slip your arms in the.
I don't have arms anymore.
I lost my arms last month and I forgot to update my bag. It's got to go around my neck now.
Big collar.
I don't know what you would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, big old like ox collar.
It's like a big barrel like the what are those like those big dogs carry out in like the North Pole.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, try putting that sucker on, walk around with it, make note of any adjustments you need to make, whether it's adding a missing item or swapping out something that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And update that bag, man. I mean, that's what preparedness is all about. It's about staying proactive. It's not being reactive. That's the whole thing.
Yes,
Right.
it is.
Anything else on this, Cam, that you
No,
want to get
I know
out?
that's a lot, but
I
yeah.
know it is.
I think, like you said, the challenge, just go check out your bug out
Yeah.
bag. See what you need to change about it, or just make sure it's still there.
Yeah, she's there. I'm good to go.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
Put it on. Do a little rucking this week. Great
Yeah.
idea. Guys, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you. We're having a blast with this Back to Basics series. We got a whole bunch more coming at you. I think we're 4 episodes in or something, which means we got 8 more to go. Ooh, man, we are excited. Pretty soon we're going to tell you about our second series, which we're really excited about, which is going to be kind of crazy.
Prepare you for the future.
That's right. Thanks so much. Make sure you're listening to our other podcast. This podcast is a secret. Make sure you're subscribed, seeing us on all the places on the socials where we are. Thank you so much. Stay survived.